All right, welcome back for another video with your Cash Flow Apprentice. My name is Jaleesa and I'm excited to share with you today the class that we're reviewing, which is Real Estate Red Flags. Now, before we jump right into the details, let's go ahead and recap our journey through this past study group cycle of Real Estate Essentials. It's time for the study group recap. Thus far, we've covered 7 different classes within our Essentials Study Group Mastermind cycle. We started off with Real Estate Essentials. This class is all about an introduction to real estate investing and understanding the real estate market. This class helped us understand how to build a real estate business and how to find offers, how to analyze deals, and how to send out offers, right? From there, we went over to real estate marketing. This class helped us understand how to get people finding us. How do we send our message out there and letting people know what services, what products that we have available. And it helped us explore a variety of mediums that we can leverage within the marketing space. Then we went over to credit management. Credit management was all about how to manage our financial reputation, commonly referred to as credit or short for credibility, right? Our credibility to be able to repay and how we can manage that profile to grow and expand our real estate portfolios, our business portfolios. From there, we went over to 2 full days of tax and legal strategies, day 1 and day 2. These 2 classes helped us understand the framework of successful clients that leverage tax and legal strategies within business and real estate holdings. This allowed us to understand how to build our wealth through the services that we have available. This class also introduced us to wealth building vehicles and how we can leverage them to build and preserve our wealth over a period of time. And then we went to self-directed IRAs. This is more of part 3 of our tax and legal series, but this class helped us understand how to operate, how to preserve, and how to maintain our wealth and grow it in tax-free vehicles, leveraging different retirement plan options. And so now that we understand how to create this blueprint for our real estate business, let's go ahead and jump into some real estate training and real estate red flags. Let's go. All right, week 13 and week 14 are now complete. We've just wrapped up Real Estate Red Flags with Chris Albin out of Danville, Illinois. Chris Albin is a former English teacher, a former wrestling coach, still an active Sunday school teacher, meaning for every day for the last, 10, 20 years, he's been teaching, right? So not only that, he's a phenomenal instructor. He's also a seasoned real estate investor with more than 25 years under his belt. He's built now over a portfolio over 300 properties, get this, on a $34,000 teacher salary. And so creative acquisitions is definitely a strong suit for him. Not only that, he comes to us as a seasoned investor though. He's a broker. He's a property manager with a successful property management company, managing his properties and other investors. He's also a licensed building contractor, a licensed roofing contractor, right? And he has a host of different certifications and board positions that he now serves in. And so it's definitely a pleasure to have someone of Chris's stature on our faculty team, being able to teach our real estate investing team the ins and outs of real estate investing. Chris Albin brings us through an entire layout of understanding real estate red flags at every point of the real estate transaction. And so he breaks it down within his learning objectives, including obtaining the lead, deal analysis, the offer and the contract, performing due diligence in 8 different areas, obtaining financing, and going to the closing. Let's talk about some apprentice study tips. The study model that I went with for this particular class is the extended outline. Now, Chris is no stranger to the teaching industry. He's a trained instructor, right? He's a very clear, easy to follow instructor that provides a solid outline for you to utilize. The model that I went with for this particular class, I refer to as the extended outline, right? Take the outline that is provided and expand on supporting points. So as he's going through answering questions, giving additional commentary, and just simple moments of genius, go ahead and write those in until you can expand on the model that's given and give you a lot more value within the outline provided. Now, if I had to summarize real estate red flags in a few words, I would say that it's the start to finish guide of more than 25 plus years of experience on how to minimize your risk financially and physically within the real estate space. Study group mastermind takeaways. This is my favorite day of the week because every Thursday I get to connect with local investors in the area and where we get to talk about the information that we're learning. Not only do we learn together, some of us are actually earning together. And so it's a fantastic way for us to really make sure that we're understanding the information we're learning and putting together a plan to implement it within our local areas. And so within study groups, the 3 areas that we drilled in on were analyzing deals, the offer and the contract, and then the due diligence process. Let's go. So the first point that we talked about was the risk in analyzing deals. Now, the first point that Chris hammered into us was understanding that a motivated seller does not equal a good deal. And that's a hard challenge for beginning investors, especially, to understand. Just because someone wants to sell you their house doesn't mean that you have a deal on your hands, right? What does the math look like behind it? Chris helped us understand that we're not buying properties, we're buying math, right? And so if the numbers don't work, the deal doesn't work. And that brings us to our next point, making sure that you have accurate numbers. We spend a lot of time in our study group understanding what is ARV, how to analyze deals, and making sure people are comfortable with that math. We talk about the formulas that you need to analyze property. There's completely different formulas when you're analyzing a property that you want to buy and hold versus a property that you want to buy and fix and flip, right? And so there's different expenses that you need to take into account, and making sure all of that is included when you're putting together your offer. We also talked about return on investment. There's a variety of different equations to calculate return on investment, right? There's some equations out there that just focus in on the cap rate, and it doesn't even take into account the debt service, right? And so there's individuals out there that's actually going bankrupt because they're ignoring one of the largest expenses in the entire equation, that 25, 30% of their profits are going out the door to the bank. And so you have to account for all the expenses within the equation to be able to move forward with comfortable numbers that work. The second part that we talked about was contracts and offers. We talked about contingencies and building them into your contracts. Contingencies are ways for you to create exits out of the deal in case the numbers no longer work in your favor. It gives you a way to be able to exit the deal without losing or risking thousands of dollars on a deal that you know is not going to move forward. We also talked about language of contracts, as is, where is, what does that mean, and how does that impact you and your deal or profits within the transaction. We also talked about disclosures and how you can get disclosures from sellers, how you may need a disclosure from a realtor or as a realtor, if you need disclosures for buyers. But we went over a variety of different scenarios where these disclosures can come in handy for the entire transaction. And then the third section we actually spent the most time on is due diligence. In the class, Chris lays out 8 different areas that we need to complete due diligence in. This helps us understand how to mitigate or limit our risk in the transaction, okay? It's more than just getting a bid from your contractor on what repairs need to be done, but making sure that you have a structurally sound investment that you're going to be holding on to, or that you may be fixing and flipping. And so helps us understand how to evaluate the property correctly and be able to negotiate any differences that we may come across in that process, or be able to get out of the transaction completely. Remember, in the due diligence process, we're looking for reasons not to buy the property, right? We're looking for reasons not to move forward on. Because again, we're buying numbers, not nice kitchens or nice bathrooms, right? So we're buying numbers, we're buying math. So get comfortable. It's time for the Epiphany Symphony. I love learning, I get excited, and I hope you do too. In this particular section, I want to share 2 different epiphanies that I had while going through this 8-hour class. On the first, Chris shared the #1 mistake in real estate, hands down. Do you want to know what it is? Get this. overpaying for real estate. Yep, people give more money than they need to on a deal. No one is intentionally overpaying for real estate. Let me start there, right? There's a variety of different reasons why or how someone could overpay. They could have the wrong ARV, right? If that first number, if the after repair value is incorrect, everything else that you do afterwards is going to be incorrect as well. Because the very first number that you're starting with is wrong. Okay, and the entire thing is going to be wrong, or it's going to throw off your entire calculation. And so ARV plays a huge factor into having incorrect numbers. Another reason could be that they have missing expense line items, right? They don't know what formula that they need to be following to analyze deals, right? They may be missing closing costs. They may be missing an oops factor, or building in reserves to be able to carry that property throughout the entire transaction, right? They may be missing those minute details in the process, or they may just have incorrect numbers in general that they're working with, right? Maybe they have an entirely off number as far as repairs. They highly underestimated what it was going to take to get that property to retail value, right? And so what they've done is put in part of the money, but now they've ran out of money to complete the renovation, right? So making sure that you have solid numbers is huge for your deal and could lead to you overpaying for the property or losing money on a property within real estate. My second epiphany that I had was understanding the growth phase and understanding the income phase within real estate. When you're in two different phases here, there's a variety of things that you want to consider when building your real estate investing strategy. You want to take into account what type of properties that you're investing in. That plays a factor when you're building out your growth phase or you're building out your income phase within your real estate investing strategies. What price range of properties that you're looking at, right? And different ways for you to be able to buy properties. There's key buying strategies that are recommended for you to maximize that particular phase in your business. So you can be able to take advantage of the income boost or the equity boost that you're looking to build within your portfolio. And it's a wrap. This is my wealth real estate action plan. Now that I've taken this 8-hour class, now that I know better, how am I going to do better? What am I going to do next, right? Given the place where I am in my business, what am I going to implement next? These classes that we're going through, whether you are just starting out or if you have been a seasoned investor with decades of experience under your belt, there's always something that you can be able to take away and implement into your business. And so my key takeaways and action items that I'm going to be taking action on is first, the due diligence process. This particular section of the class was almost half the class of the 8 hours, right? And so I'm going to be taking some time now and building out my due diligence process and making sure that I'm covering every of the 8 steps that he laid out for us to include within our due diligence process. And then I'm also going to be taking in consideration the income and the growth strategy phases that he laid out and being able to build that into my 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and 10-year plan for my real estate business. These were some techniques that were laid out in previous class by Mark Kohler in the the tax and legal strategies classes, but he talks about laying out your goals. And so now that we have a plan together, I can go through now using this class, implement my growth strategies during the right time frame so I can maximize the advantages of real estate. Thank you all for joining us. As always, please like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you need to do to stay plugged in. It's been a pleasure delivering this information for you, and I can't wait for you to join us on our next video. Take care, and I'll see you soon.